So we'll be covering different topics related to the ICC Champions Trophy. In today's match, which was between Afghanistan versus South Africa, South Africa beat Afghanistan convincingly. We'll be also talking about yesterday's match between India and Bangladesh, and Pakistan versus New Zealand's match as well, where Pakistan lost terribly as well in Karachi. So I have been joined by
Shoaib Tabani,
Shahid Zafar.
साद हमेशा मैच से पहले हमारे हालात ऐसे ही होते हैं. कोई भी टूर्नामेंट जब शुरू होता है, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी ले लें, वर्ल्ड कप ले लें, ये क्यों शुरू में ही हमें हार्ट अटैक दे देते हैं साथ?
I mean, it's the pressure, I think, especially if you're playing in your home ground. There's an advantage to that as well, that you get the home crowd as your 12th man. But then there's a disadvantage that the extra pressure and too much media pressure as well, and too much, I would say, fans' expectations when they keep high expectations from the Pakistan team. And Pakistan team has a history of being unpredictable. I mean, who can forget Nasser Hussain's famous saying, 1 minute down, next minute up. And, you know, we saw how Pakistan played. It was below standard in all departments. If I talk about batting, bowling and fielding, I mean, they were not up to the mark. They had to chase 320 on a pitch that was not hard to bat on, considering that they have chased 350 on this same venue against South Africa. So, and the reason is because there was the geo factor as well. So it became harder for the bowlers to bowl in the second innings. But I think Pakistan's intent was not there. The style of play was not to the mark, and not according to the requirements of modern day cricket. We saw Babar Azam and the way he played, 60 runs off 90 balls. I mean, it was not required at that stage. And then the rest, so Shakir 6 of 19, Mohammad Rizwan 3 of 14. These were not needed. I mean, 146 drop balls, that's a crime in ODI cricket. And then in bowling, if I talk about Haris Rauf, 80 runs in 10 overs. He was making a comeback, but if your main fast bowler is getting hit for that many runs, I mean, the rest of the bowlers will go under the pump, and that's what we saw from Pakistan.
I mean, I'm going to start one question with Brother Shahid. You know, all the teams, they always go for their home conditions. Like, let's suppose we have conditions where we know the spinner is going to perform. So why can't we have 2 to 3 special spinners who can go in the match and win for us?
Talking of home conditions, first of all, although it's been played in Pakistan, but don't forget this is an ICC tournament. So you're not preparing pitches like Multan you would in a test match series, because it's ICC who controls what sort of a pitch there is being played. So it's possible that they want spin friendly. Obviously, ICC wants high scoring pitches, so it doesn't have to be a spinning pitch. So, we want to see a lot of scores. So Pakistan doesn't really have that home advantage as you normally think in a, home series. And secondly, we don't really have any spinners. Shadab sitting out, there's no one. I mean, since Saeed Ajmal, we've not really had a spinner who would come in and win you matches. And it's always the fast bowlers we relied on. And to be honest, the fast bowlers have really, really let us down, especially Shaheen, and Rauf. I mean, we expect Shaheen to take wickets up front. Although Pakistan did really well, I think where Pakistan lost the match was in the bowling, in fact, where they've taken 3 quick wickets. And then they started looking for cheap overs. They wanted to take some overs out the way and, contain, on those sort of pitches and batting like New Zealand. I think that's really where Pakistan lost the match. And mentally, they were thinking, yeah, we chased down 350 on this pitch, but against a much, much second string, weaker South Africa, whereas New Zealand is a much stronger team. So they, in their mind, they shouldn't have been looking to chase 350 or 320. They should have been ideally looking for 270, 280 when they've had the opposition down, 3 down for 60, 70 odd runs. So they could have easily achieved that if they brought in their main bowlers, took a couple of more wickets, and that would have been the game there. So it's not the batting, it's actually the bowling that's losing us the match.
बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंट उठाया शाहिद भाई ने कि स्पिनर्स क्या साथ ये क्वेश्चन अभी रेज हो रहा है कि हमारे पास स्पिनर्स नहीं है. ये वही आकिब जावेद है जिन्होंने हमारी टीम सिलेक्ट की, ठीक है, होम कंडीशंस पे, और बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंट लिया कि ये वो होम कंडीशंस नहीं है. बॉल ग्रिप तो कर रहा है लेकिन बॉल उतना ब्रेक नहीं हो रहा. शामी जहाँ पे 5 विकेटें ले गया और जहाँ पे हम सोच रहे थे कि स्पिनर्स बहुत सारी विकेटें लेंगे, क्या हमारे बैग में कोई पीछे स्पिनर्स नहीं है कि जो आप आ सकते थे?
I think that statement, which has been said by lots of former cricketers and fans, is like saying there's no talent in Pakistan, which has also been said. But then we've seen in the past when you give young talent a chance, like the 2017 Champions Trophy, where Pakistan gave players like Hassan Ami, Shadab Khan, Fahim Ashraf, Rahman Reis, when these players were given a chance, they took that chance and they won Pakistan matches in that Champions Trophy, and Pakistan won the Champions Trophy. So I think if you're not going to let spinners play, like for example Sufyan Makeem, a spinner who performed in his first ODI match, he took 4 wickets. If you have an experienced campaigner like Shadab Khan, I mean, he's a wonderful all-rounder when it comes to bowling and batting. He's the best fielder as well in Pakistan, arguably. So I feel that he's another option. Then you had Faisal Akram. He played against Zimbabwe. He took wickets as well. Then you had Usama Mir. Because of his height, he's able to generate that bounce, which is crucial for spinners as well, which is what makes spinners dangerous in formats like ODI and T20. So I feel that Pakistan do have spinners, but the fact that they rely too much on their fast bowling, and one of the biggest reasons was that Pakistan were playing in Australia. Pakistan was playing in South Africa, so those conditions meant that Pakistan had to play 3 fast bowlers. So there was not much spin dominance in those series, which is why Pakistan didn't really have that preparation to play more spinners. But at the same time, considering that you're playing at home and you're going to go play in Dubai against India, you need spinners. And we saw even in the match yesterday, the way the spinners bowled, India spinners bowled as well. I feel that Pakistan have missed a trick out, especially if Fakhar Zaman was injured and you needed a replacement. According to the ICC rules, if there's a concussion, then you need a like-for-like replacement. But in Fakhar Zaman's case, there was no concussion. He was injured because he was feeling, and he got injured. His knee got injured there, so you could pick the spinner as well. I mean, and I was watching today Harsha Bhogle. He was talking about the Pakistan vs India and match, the preview, and he said that Pakistan missed a trick by not picking a spinner instead of picking for Fakhar Zaman's replacement, and they went with Imam al-Haq. If Pakistan went with a spinner, I'd say they have a bigger chance of doing good against India. But because India have good spinners and Pakistan is mainly relying on their fast bowlers and 2 part-time spinners in Salman Ali Agha, Hushni Shah, and a full-time spinner with Abar Ahmed, so I feel that Pakistan will struggle.
2017 में ऑन पेपर इंडिया की टीम बहुत स्ट्रांग थी. बुमराह जो है वो टीम में थे, वो बड़े अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दे रहे थे, लेकिन ऑन द डे प्रेशर ने इतना काम कर दिखाया कि इंडिया परफॉर्म नहीं कर सका. शायद आप क्या सोचते हैं कि बुमराह इज नॉट इन द टीम? What do you think? Is it going to affect their bowling attack?
First of all, I think psychologically Pakistan will be relieved, because I think a bowler like Bumrah is quite dangerous, and Pakistan have tasted his bowling in the past. So Pakistan will definitely be relieved that Bumrah is not there. But I think the biggest worry for us is Pakistan's lack of batting against spinners. We think the fast bowling is dangerous for us, but when we look in the past matches where we've lost, it's been the actual the Indian spinners. I remember Kuldeep Yadav getting Babar Azam. Babar Azam really struggles against spin. So I think going forward, Pakistan needs to select batting, and in fact, the batting order needs to be in a place where we can tackle spin bowling. Hopefully, Salman Ali Agha is really good against spin. They might bring in Usman Khan as well. I think he's used to the conditions in Dubai. He's been playing there under UAE as well. So they are his home conditions, and he's the sort of batsman I think who is much more suited towards spin. I'm not sure about Saad Shakil. the way he batted, to be honest, it wasn't fair on him to go out and open against New Zealand. I think because Rizwan and Babar have been doing it for a long time in T20. If you can do it in T20, why can you not do it in 50 overs? I mean, everyone argues that they shouldn't be doing it in T20. But Rizwan, he is the experienced opener along with Babar, and they love to open together. Then that's what they should have gone and done instead of putting Saad Shakil somewhere where he hasn't batted before. Secondly, spinning is an issue for Pakistan, but as you said, they should have picked up spinner instead of Fakhar, in place of Fakhar. But our batting is a major concern. We don't have any batsmen. There's not a batsman we can put our finger down and say, apart from maybe Salman and Yaga, we cannot say, batting, someone will, take us through. So we definitely needed a batsman, and hopefully Imam will give that stability. He plays lovely cover drives, so maybe he'll get us, it won't be, 8 overs, 16 runs with Imam. He'll be at least take us to 30, 40, So as long as we're not losing wickets up front, we're scoring 4-5 runs and over, and then you really see Salman and Yaga come into play. Even, someone like Rizwan can even play more freely as well, because once he gets in, he likes to play freely. And but to be honest, it's all batting again. It's all batting up front and fast bowlers. Spinners are not going to do a lot of damage in terms of our bowling, but Indian spinners are definitely going to do that damage.
साद क्या रीजन है कि हम 80s की क्रिकेट से निकल नहीं पा रहे? दुनिया क्रिकेट में काफी मॉडर्न हो गई. आपको पता है कि न्यूजीलैंड आम जब भी देखते हैं कि कोई भी आम टूर्नामेंट होता है तो उस पर ऊपर होती है हमेशा, क्योंकि वो मॉडर्न स्टाइल को प्रेफर करते हैं. ठीक है, वो ये नहीं कहते कि हमारी विकेट लूज हो जाएगी. विकेट लूज फिर भी अपने एक रखा हुआ है कि इस रेट से हमें स्कोर करना है. क्या वजह है कि हम 80s की क्रिकेट से निकल नहीं पा रहे? साथ
maybe because the level of bowling is very high that batsmen struggle. That's one reason I feel. And then insecurity. There's too much chop and change in Pakistan cricket. No player is guaranteed a place in the 11 for consistent chances for like 20-30 matches. So then at times they play for themselves, their own 40s and 50s, but it doesn't benefit Pakistan. I mean, we saw how Babar Azam played. We didn't expect Babar Azam to play that slow, considering he opening the batting on a pitch like in Karachi is very easy to bat. As we saw, New Zealand scored over 300, and the pitch there really, it wasn't too difficult for the batsman to score runs, because if Salman and Yagan can score 42 of 28, if Krishnan can score a quick fire 69, I mean, why couldn't Babar Azam, a player of Babar Azam's class and ability, why couldn't he really perform, considering that opening in one-day cricket and T20 cricket, lots of people want to open because it's seen as the easiest position to bat in cricket, because you have the most of the overs, and plus the first 10 overs where there's not that much fielders outside the circle, so then that's what it gives a chance for the batsman to go a bit free and play their shots. So I feel that Babar Azam should have taken advantage of that. And I also feel that Pakistan should have played with a higher run rate. Like Saad Shakil, he was also responsible as well, 6 of 19. And Shahid Bhai mentioned that Saad Shakil should not, opening him was a bit of a wrong decision. But Dave Tahir has also opened in domestic cricket, so he was another option. And that's, I think, the fault of the management for not knowing the ability and talent of each player. If you know that Tayyip Tahir had the experience in domestic cricket, why couldn't he open instead of Saad Shakil, who's more of a modern middle order specialist? So I feel that Pakistan made a mistake there as well.
शाहिद भाई से और आपसे भी एक क्वेश्चन है. शाहिद भाई, क्या होगा संडे को जो आप लैम्ब कढ़ाई बना रहे हैं, क्या आप वो खा सकेंगे मैच के दौरान या नहीं?
मेरा नहीं ख्याल कि कोई भी लैम्ब कढ़ाई बना रहा है संडे को. सारे छुप छुप के स्कोर देखेंगे. अगर पाकिस्तान के हालात अच्छे हुए तो टीवी ऑन कर लेंगे, अगर ना हुए तो फिर कोई और सोचना. संडे को तो हम काम पे भी नहीं जाते, तो कोई और एक्टिविटी सोचनी पड़ेगी कि हम क्या करें. बच्चों की छुट्टियां शायद बच्चों के साथ अपना दिल मिला लेंगे. But Sunday को, but if you look at it, to be honest, Pakistan have never gone into, or at least in the past couple of decades, Pakistan hasn't gone into a match against India as favorites. And I think that suits us as spectators as well, because when we go in with a lot of hopes and we get, our hearts broken, or when we have a close match, I think the last 2020 match we had, I'd given up on cricket, because when you can't chase down 120 runs in 20 overs, I don't think you deserve to be called an international cricket team. That was club level, batting from Pakistan. But we're not keeping our hopes up. Coming back to the management, I think the management plays a massive role, and who goes in and whatnot. Fakhar being injured, why was he sent in when they were already a couple of wickets down the scoring? It seemed like they sent him in as a pinch hitter rather than a batsman, which they could have done later on in the innings, and sent Salman Ali Agha, who plays at a good strike rate. He would have steadied the ship, and later on Fakhar could have come and gone for it freely, because if you watch Fakhar's inning, he was a bit of in the middle. He couldn't take singles, and he couldn't really hit every ball as well. So why send him there when Salman Ali Agha, he scored a century against South Africa. He played a lovely inning. He could have steadied the ship. Pakistan could have been, needing 100, 120 runs in the last 10 overs, and then Fakhar Zaman coming in would have made a lot more sense. So I think our management, the think tank, are not making the right decisions. They sort of stick to what they've already planned on paper. They don't go with the flow. They don't think out of the box. Whatever is on paper, and I've seen this in the past as well, whatever they decide, they go with it. You have to look at the situation of the match, what is demanding. Your player is injured. Why are you sending him in when he can't even run single? And that time of the match, commentators are, counting dot balls. In like 12 or 13 overs, Pakistan had 10 overs of dot balls, which is absolutely ridiculous. And for sure, if Salman Ali Agha or any other player, even if Tahir went in, that many dot balls wouldn't have been there. So the scoring, required run rate kept getting higher and higher, because Fakhar was either hitting or taking or wasn't even able to take singles. So he should have come much later down the order. And if you look at it, I stopped watching the game, but when it got closer towards the 40th over or 45th over, and we were thinking that if there were a couple more wickets, batting had become a lot easier later on. Maybe there was more dew, the ball's gone, worn out a bit, and it was a lot easier to hit. So imagine if Pakistan still had Fakhar coming in, they could have won from that situation, just changing the order of when Fakhar came in. So they've got to think, with India, they definitely got to make decisions on the go along with the match, and that is going to be the key thing.
So talking about India, India played yesterday against Bangladesh, and Bangladesh were put into bat first, and they were 50 for 5. But then they recovered because of Toureed. He scored 100, and that allowed Bangladesh to get to 228. It wasn't a good score, to be honest. Mohammad Shami took 5 wickets as well. Harshit Rana took 3 wickets, and even India's spinners were good as well. But the key thing is that India's batting is, as usual, is always strong. Shubman Gill, he scored 100. He's in very good form. And if you talk about KL Rahul, he scored 41. Rohit Sharma, he scored 41. So India's batting is something that I feel that, talking about the India vs Pakistan game, if Pakistan want to have a chance, we've seen in the past as well, if it was Mohammad Amir, if it was Shaheen Afridi, if it was Junaid Khan, wickets in the power play early on, I feel that would be key. And I think even in India's game yesterday, they struggled as well at one point, especially against the leg spinners, the Bangladesh leg spinners. But because Pakistan don't have any proper spinners, they only have one spinner, one main spinner, that's where Pakistan will really struggle, I feel, because I think that even Virat Kohli, if I speak about him in the last 5 to 6 matches, he's gone out to leg spin, especially Adil Rashid in the last England series. He got out to him twice or 3 times. So I feel that that's an area where Pakistan can target Virat Kohli. I think Virat vs Abrar would probably be a good matchup. Somewhere where Pakistan can get him out early. And then Rohit Sharma, if Shaheen can get him out, and Naseem Shah, I feel that would be key. And if Pakistan were to win the toss, I think Pakistan's best chance is to bowl first. because bowling if Pakistan can restrict India to a low score, they'll have a chance.
रिसेंट पास में अगर आप देखें कि इंडिया की जो टीम हमारे साथ खेलती रही है उसमें सबसे बड़ा रोल जो रहा है वो बुमराह का रहा है, ठीक है। आप क्या समझते हैं कि कितना बड़ा सेटबैक है, इतनी बड़ा मैच है और जिसमें आपको जिनके स्ट्रॉन्ग नर्व्स होते हैं वही कामयाब होते हैं। हमारे पास शाहीन शाह है, ठीक है, और वो बड़े मैच के प्लेयर हैं क्योंकि उन्होंने बड़े मैचों में परफॉर्म किया है। आप क्या समझते हैं कि बुमराह के ना होने से इंडिया की टीम के लिए क्या मुश्किलात होंगी?
You mentioned Bumrah, but on a lighter note, in the last Champions Trophy final, I mean, it was Bumrah and Fahzaman. This Champions Trophy, they're both not there. That's the funny thing to see. So I think both X factors of both teams won't be there. So I feel that will affect both teams. If they don't have Bumrah, we don't have our only match winner in batting, and that's Fahzaman. And I feel if Pakistan want to have a chance, they will have to play with a different approach. We saw in the last Champions Trophy as well, where Pakistan, they lost badly to India in the first game, but then they were given the hard talk by senior players like Shoaib Malik and Mohammad Hafiz. And in the next game versus South Africa, they played with a new mindset, a new energy. Pakistan will have to do the same against India. And I feel that players like Imam al-Haq, is his comeback game, but he'll have to play quick. Usman Khan, he's known as an aggressive player, and I think he should play as well. Babar Azam's performance will be key. I feel that Babar Azam will have to perform. So Shakir, Salman Ali Agha, Mohammad Rizwan, they're experienced players and they will have to perform as well.
अच्छा, लाइनअप में आप क्या समझते हैं कि कुछ चेंजिंग करेंगे पाकिस्तान की जो लाइनअप है?
I feel that Usman Khan should play because the biggest reason is that Fahzaman is not there. So you lost our only player who can win you a game by himself. So if Usman Khan plays, because he has the ability to play with an aggressive strike rate, he has a different range of shots, and he has that mindset to play aggressive, and he just goes for it, proactive. I feel that he should play. Imam, he should play as well, but because of his experience, he's played 72 ODIs for Pakistan, but the problem with Imam is that his strike rate, and he averages 12 against India, so that's another problem. But the Bumrah not being there would be good for Imam because he can go for other bowlers, but Imam would have to play aggressive. But at the same time, I also feel that if he doesn't perform, you can't totally blame him because he just arrived in Dubai today, so he's been playing a lot of cricket over the last few days, so maybe he might lack that fitness. But Pakistan did have other options as well, like Shan Masood, Abdul Shafiq, if they wanted to look for another batsman. But playing like Agha Salmani is in good form. So Shakil plays spin very well. Rizwan is a gutsy player, he's a fighter, and these players will be key.
साद, ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि जब हारिस रऊफ बॉलिंग करा रहे होते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि ये दूसरी टीम के खिलाड़ी हैं, ये दूसरी टीम के साथ खेलने आए हैं और हमें तबाह करने के लिए आए हैं? ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि उनकी जब बॉलिंग हो रही थी हमें पता लगता है कि 12-14 रन देंगे, कभी कभी विकेट भी ले लेते हैं, और जब विकेट लेते हैं तो पता लगता है उन्होंने मैच सारा जीत लिया? तो ये क्या लग रहा है कि वो इंडिया की तरफ से खेलेंगे या पाकिस्तान की तरफ से?
I think his bowling, he's very expensive, and I feel like bowling reminds me of Wahab Riaz. Wahab Riaz takes wickets, but then he goes for runs at times. Haris Rauf is a wicket taker, but I think it's a bad decision to play him in this Champions Trophy. The biggest reason is he's been exposed on flat wickets. Who can forget his bad performances in the 2023 World Cup in India? I mean, if you were playing in Australia, South Africa, England, I can understand those conditions are seam and swing conditions and bounce conditions. So I feel that he would have been more effective in those conditions. However, if he's playing on flat decks like in Dubai or in Pakistan, he won't be that effective because there's not much in for fast bowlers like Haris Rauf who don't have much variation, who just rely on pace.
अच्छा, शाहिद भाई आपसे एक क्वेश्चन है। रोहित अगर चल गए तो वो तो डिस्ट्रॉय कर देंगे। विराट कोहली का ये है कि वो फिर थोड़ा सा संभल के खेलते हैं। क्या समझते हैं अगर रोहित का बैट चल गया पहले 15 ओवर्स में तो क्या होने वाला है?
कुछ डिफरेंट नहीं होगा। अगर रोहित ना चले तो शुभम गिल चल जाएंगे। कोहली का तो आपको पता है, he plays a long game but he really picks it up later on in the inning. But डरना नहीं चाहिए पाकिस्तान को। अगर उनको नहीं भी आउट करते up front, दुबई के pitches, don't forget they're slow pitches, so you cannot really outbat the opposition. unless you keep wickets in hand and play the long game. So they'll not be, taking the match away in first 10 to 15 minutes. Pakistan will just have to be patient.
Sorry, Shad, but I have to stop you there. So the show is over in 30 seconds. So this was today's show. We spoke about Pakistan vs India's game, a preview about that. The Pakistan vs New Zealand game, we spoke about Pakistan's weaknesses and what Pakistan should do. And India vs Bangladesh game, we also spoke about that as well. If you have any questions, phone Inspire FM on 01582 481 822. And this is the show for today. I will see you next week, inshallah, with the next guest. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.